Hi. I know I don't usually do videos in this format, but there's not much visual stuff to talk about in this video, so I just figured I'd do a piece of camera. This may be the first time you're seeing my face. It probably is for most of you, but yeah, the PS5 announcement, or sorry, the PS5 Pro announcement just finished up like less than an hour ago, and I have some thoughts and none of them are really good. So, obviously, the first video I've made on this channel was about the PS5, and I had some negative things to say about that. But overall, the PS5 itself is a good system. It is. I think I was a little bit too harsh, but also, again, at the same time, that was the first video I made in a long time, so that was sort of a practice. I didn't know quite what I was doing 100% yet. I've gotten better at it and whatnot. So, but yeah, overall, the PS5 is a good console. Now, I initially didn't believe that there was actually going to be a PS5 Pro. I thought it was a little weird to come out 4 years after the console comes out, since console generations tend to last about 6 to 7 years at most. PS3 and Xbox One were around like 2006 to 2013. So that's 7 years, and then from 2013 to 2020 was the last generation. So that's another 7 years. So I thought if they would have done it, they would have done it last year when they would have another 4 years of console, the same console generation. So, there was the rumors that it had it looks like the leaks on this 30th anniversary of PlayStation. So, that's where I started believing it, along with the PS5 Pro logo appearing on some boxes. But when I really started to believe it was yesterday when they said, we're having a technical presentation tomorrow, which is today. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the PS5 Pro. And I do like how Sony flat out said, in 2 seconds in, before we talk about PS5 Pro. So I like that, because if you watch the Apple presentation yesterday, Apple has a tendency to lengthen things out. I mean, they always do this, but the one yesterday was so long. I know this is a gaming channel, not a tech channel. I actually want to start a tech channel, and I actually have everything registered for it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video discussing the Apple presentation yesterday for that channel. But regardless, I'll give Sony credit where credit is due. Sweet and to the point. I wish they were actually made a little more information on that. So, throughout the whole presentation, I didn't see that it looked that much better. The frame rate increase was nice. I wish they would have talked about maybe more about 120 FPS for those of us that have 120 FPS TVs. But they didn't. It seems like they're really trying to target 4K 60, which is not bad at all. The thing is even in performance mode, that they said that 75% of PlayStation 5 users are using, I never felt like it looked bad, and I can't really tell the difference that much between fidelity mode, which is the full graphics, but it's a lower frame rate, and performance mode. So I couldn't really tell the difference, and I would switch between them, and I have a pretty good eye, but even on an OLED TV, 4K, HDR, I couldn't make out a difference. And I'm going to give Sony a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I think YouTube live stream is not the best to give comparisons of due to the compression. But even when they had to zoom in really in depth to see some of the details. And yeah, I feel like when you're doing that, you should just be able to hold one to the left and one to the right, or do the thing where it sleeps down the middle. If you can't tell with that, I don't see, why it's necessary. It seems like it's such a minor improvement. This is me talking. I nitpick over stuff a lot. A lot. I'm very picky about certain things. But with this, I felt like it was even nitpicky for me. It was just crazy. So anyway, I still was actually intending to buy the PS5 Pro. I was like, well, YouTube compression, it's probably compressed quite a bit. So I'm sure in person it's going to look better, especially for someone like me who has a pretty nice TV. And then I saw the price. It is $700. $700 for a PlayStation 5. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't think I'm going to buy it. And then it gets worse. Like the PS5 Slim, it doesn't come with a stand. That's another $30. And it doesn't come with a disc drive, which I actually do need because I have PS5 and PS4 games, and I no longer have a PS4 on disc. So I would need to get that as well. I probably wouldn't need the stand, but, you know, my current PS5, the original model, is on a stand, so if I wanted it in the same place, I would actually have to buy the stand. But that means with that, excluding tax, with the PS5 Pro, the stand, and the disc drive, it's the same disc drive as the PS5 Slim, by the way, so it's the same $80 disc drive. It would be $810, excluding tax, which where I live is 7%. $810 for a PlayStation 5. And I feel really bad if you're from Europe, because even though the euro is worth more, which you would think would mean that either, well, maybe there's some more cost there, you know, so usually it's like the same dollar amount and the same euro amount, which means technically that it's a little bit more in Europe, but, you know, it does cost, they have some other things. I think it may include tax, but I doubt it because each country has its own tax rate, but who knows? It may include the tax. But even so, in Europe, it's 800 euros, which is $880. Again, for a PS5. I know it's a PS5 Pro, but this is still a game console, and it is $800. Or sorry, almost $900. And not only that, the stand is still 30 euros there. And the disc drive, at least on the German website, I use the German website because it was the only non-UK one. The only one that was in English was the UK one, but they obviously use a different currency. They use pounds. You know, rest of Europe pretty much uses the euro. So I use the German website since that's the European language I know the most. I don't speak it, but I know it the most. And the disc drive there is 120 euros, meaning the console, which is already 800 euros, plus 30 euros for the stand, plus 120 euros for the disc drive, that's 950 euros. That is $1,037 or something like that. It is over $1,000, again, for a PS5 that right now, and since launch, has been $500. And you can get a regular PS5 now with a game and then Asher's Playroom, which is actually a pretty good game, for $500. So what the hell are they thinking? Again, I had every intention, because I thought it was going to be like $600, or maybe it was going to be $500 and they were going to lower the price of the regular PS5, like they did with the PS4 Pro. The PS4 launched at $400. The PS4 Pro came out, that was $400, and they reduced the price of the original PlayStation to $300. But even so, I mean, I know inflation and money is worth less. $100 for what was a pretty substantial upgrade. The PS4 Pro was quite a lot more powerful than the regular PS4. Whereas this, believe it or not, is using the same CPU. I can't remember if the PS4 Pro and the PS4 use the same CPU, but from what I remember, they don't. And at the same time, you got some other benefits too. The original PS5 launched with a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and the Pro was a 1 terabyte. I think the Slim ended up having a 1 terabyte hard drive, but you got an improvement over the original. You do get a 2 terabyte hard drive with the PS5 Pro, so I mean that's good at least. I mean, you know, almost $800. I would expect so, but you know, I'm sorry, more than $800 with the stand and in the disc drive, which again for me I would actually have to have, you know, $800. I would expect so, and I don't know. I feel like there's a big problem with Sony right now, and they're doing the exact same thing that they did during the PS3 era. It's funny actually. The PS3 launched for $600 for the better version, at least. I mean, so it's only $100 cheaper than the PS5 Pro is now. So it's a little funny they have that price point, but again, a little bit funny. But if you think about it, though, the PS3 was really expensive. If it was $600 back then, it would be quite a lot now. But I feel like throughout this entire generation, Sony has believed since the PS4 sold so well that they can do no wrong and people will gladly take their money and give it to Sony because they're Sony and they're PlayStation and they like it. So they'll just pay whatever amount of money to buy the next best thing. So the PS4 Pro was about 14 million sales, and the total PS4 sales were, I think, around 100 to 110 million. It's a big number. So meaning the PS4 of the PS4 Pro sales of the total PS4 sales, about 14% of them, since they both sold about 14 million copies or 14 million consoles of the PS4 Pro, were, the 14% were PS4 Pros. So not even a fifth of PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 users. I'm sick, by the way, if I'm stuttering a lot. I'm sorry, I'm sick. Not even a fifth of the users of the PlayStation 4 were PS4 Pro users. So I think Sony is expecting that to happen again. But the PS4 Pro, again, was a big upgrade compared to the PS4. Xbox One X was also a way big upgrade over the Xbox One. But this doesn't appear to be. As I said, it's using the same CPU. It does have a better GPU. But again, I never once thought, oh, you know what? I wish my PS5 had ever so slightly more power so it can look ever so slightly better. And I would gladly pay 30% more. Sorry, not 30% more, 60% more. It is a 60% price increase if you count the disc drive and the stand. Let's say you don't count the stand. Okay, it's still about 60%. It's a 60% price increase compared to the PS5 with the disc drive. What the hell? Now, I'm being honest. If this thing was like $600, I would think that's an okay price. It's not that much of an improvement, but it's only $100 more. If it was $100 more with the disc drive, maybe not the stand. The regular one doesn't have it too. Okay, whatever, fine. I would think that is a fair price. In reality, I think they should lower the regular PS4 to about $400, and then this could still be $600. I don't think that would be unfair, or even $300. But if they were able to lower the price of the PS5 to $400 and make this, the PS5 Pro $500, even $600, that'd be fine. But no, the PS5 is still $500. 4 years after it came out, which is insane. Every console that's not a Nintendo console gets cheaper as it comes out. I mean, I guess the Xbox Series X is still $500. But I mean, I think the Xbox Series S goes on sale a lot. So, I mean, I don't know. And I'm just really disappointed, is what I would say. Again, I think I was too brutal on the PS5 in that video, but it was my first video in a long time, so I'm going to give myself a little bit pass. But I can't really see any defense for Sony in this situation. I feel like I don't even know how to describe it other than it's just unnecessary. And, the PS5 probably only has 2 to 4 years left. That has 4 years left. I don't think this would be that bad. But if it only has 2 to 3 and you dropped $800 on a new game console that is obsolete 3 years after it came out. That sucks. That sucks. And at that point, you're getting close to PC territory, and especially if you're in Europe. But for about $1,000, you probably get a pretty decent gaming PC. They'll probably run as maybe not as good, but pretty close to the regular PS5, maybe even the PS5 Pro. We haven't really seen that much of it, but you probably get a pretty decent gaming PC, and then you have access to basically a lot of Sony games. A lot of Sony games are on a lot of PS5 games are on PC now. So you have access not only to a lot of Sony games, but, to Microsoft games as well, to, emulators, any other developer, get Game Pass. I mean, it's like, it's not going to appeal to the casuals, and it's not really going to appeal to the hardcore gamer, I think. It's only for basically PlayStation fans that are okay dropping $800 for better performance. And I'm being honest, I went through Twitter and YouTube and whatnot. I didn't really see anyone defending it. I maybe saw like one guy defending it for every like 15 to 20 comments saying it was just too expensive. And, again, I'm not really upset that it's not that much of a power increase. It's just, for the price, it just doesn't make any sense. Especially when, again, as I said, there probably isn't that many years left in this console life cycle. And at the same time, too, all the games they showed in this presentation were all games that are already out. So I don't know who's waiting for the PS5 Pro to play these games. And again, like Hogwarts Legacy is one of the games. Hogwarts Legacy in performance mode still looks fantastic on PS5. That's what I played it on. It looks great. I don't think I need to be like, you know what? I'm going to wait to play this game so I can get it in a slightly better fidelity. No one's going to do that. Nobody. I don't recommend you buy this thing. If you want to buy a regular PS5, my MacBook shut off. If you want to buy a regular PS5, I don't see a problem now. I think you should have done so about a year ago. But if you want to buy a PS5, a regular PS5, go right ahead. But in my opinion, this is about the worst deal in gaming I have ever seen. Okay, so I'm actually editing the video right now, and I decided to redo the outro because while I was editing the video, I all of a sudden remembered the original PlayStation price announcement.
I'm going to ask Sony Computer Entertainment President of America, Steve Reyes, to join me for a brief presentation. $299.
And it's just sort of funny to me how when Sony would announce a price for most of their consoles, it would be like, oh my god, yeah, what a great price. Like literally there's cheers in the $299 speech. It's literally called the price heard around the world. It's one of the things that sort of bankrupted Sega, because the Saturn was $400, although it did have some benefits, but the PlayStation was $299, very famously. So it's just sort of funny to me how, like, PS1 was known for being pretty cheap. The PS2 was, again, known for being the cheapest DVD player. The PS3 launched pretty high, but again, it got cheaper, and then I think it technically did oversell the Xbox 360 in the end, although I don't really count it because Xbox never sells well in Japan, so they don't really get a fair shake, but whatever. And the PS4, again, launched $100 cheaper than the Xbox One, which is what made it win the generation and become, I think, besides the Nintendo Switch, which is my favorite console of all time, the PS4 is actually my second favorite console of all time, and it's really close to the Nintendo Switch. I think the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 was like peak gaming. Like 2017 to 2020, I think was like the best time to play video games. They were just banger after banger after banger. Now, not all this is Sony's fault, but we're just getting a lot of blah. I think it's been 4 years since COVID. Video games tend to take about 4 to 8 years to develop, so I think the games that we're getting now started development in COVID, so I think that is sort of why everything was slower then, where the games in 2020 were almost done, so they were able just to push them forward, whereas now we're getting, the games that were beginning development during COVID and work from home and whatnot. So I think in 2 to 4 years, we're going to start seeing a lot more better games come out, but I just wanted to sort of add on because all of a sudden I remembered about the $2.99 speech, and I thought, that was a pretty good thing to mention, considering it's one of Sony's most famous things and literally killed off a console competitor forever. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Are you guys going to buy a PS5 Pro? I'm guessing you're not, but if you are, no shame, no hate. Let me know your reasons why you're buying it. There may be a good reason I missed. Let me guys know your opinion on the PS5 Pro. If you're not buying it, why aren't you buying it? Can you just not afford it? Or is it just too expensive? Or do you just think it's not worth it? If you have a PS5, do you plan on upgrading to the PS5 Pro? Or do you think your regular PS5 is just fine? Are you still on PS4 or PS4 Pro? Just let me know. I want to engage with this one. This is just a opinion I just blurted out. There's no preparation other than watching the presentation that Sony had this morning. So yeah, just let me know. You can go watch my original PS5 video. Again, I think I was too harsh on the PS5 in that scenario. It's funny because I was actually going to make a video today saying, when I thought it was going to be like $600, why I'm buying the PS4 Pro PS5 Pro, despite the fact I don't use my PS5 that much, and it turned into, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Not really, but you get the point. So, yeah, just let me know, and we can engage in the comments. Be sure to check out my next video. I'm glad I didn't do another Nintendo video today. I think my next video is either going to be Sega or region consoles, but I think the region consoles are going to be a bonus video, so I don't know yet, but yeah, so please comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.